Hello, welcome back to my channel. Yes, for what is probably the last time I get to milk the following transfer news. So, Ryan Cherki and, well, we already knew about Aitnuri. Let's start with what we knew. Aitnuri, I talked about this earlier, has come to Man City, but now we know the price as well, which is relevant. More relevant even is that Lyon, or Man City have agreed terms with Lyon over Ryan Cherki at around 35 million. So he's expected to undergo the medical in the next few days. I assume that he is going to be present at the Club World Cup. So Ryan Cherki, I mean, do I need to explain why he is class? Just briefly, he helps Foden, he helps Haaland. It's very simple how he helps Haaland. He gives him assists. Like he's gonna get assists, that's how he helps Haaland. How does he help Foden? He's gonna allow Foden to be more free roaming, which is when Foden is at his best in my opinion. So if you go over here, yeah, over this mess, Aitnuri and Cherki are now both Man City players. That means we currently have a squad with 4 wingers on the bench. 4, yes, you heard that correctly. Is he a midfielder? Is he a left back? We don't know about Orari, but we now have 6, yes, 6 midfielders as well. We have 1 less homegrown player in the starting 11, and we have 1 more foreign player. Correct? Yes, Savio. 1 more foreign player, and what do you call it? And on the bench, I guess, in the squad. And we have 4, 10, 13, 18, 22 players. We have a total of 22 squad players outside of the bench. So, lovely that. We'll talk about this half of the bit later, but for now, what does Cherki actually do? I've done my glazing on Cherki, but very simply put, if you put Cherki on the right wing and Marmoush on the left wing, and you're gonna push up Aitnuri, we all know that already, you're going to give Foden a lot of free roam here. So Foden, he's not gonna be contained to any given area. This whole area, yeah, this whole area behind Haaland will be Foden's domain. This entire area. Do I have a better tool for this? I believe I do actually. There we go. This area is all Foden's domain now. All this area behind Haaland. And Cherki and Marmoush, the greatest thing about them is Cherki can go in midfield. Marmoush can go in midfield behind Haaland. Foden can go left. Cherki can go right. Cherki can go left. Foden can go right. The only limit is that Marmoush can't go to the right wing comfortably. He sticks a bit to this left-hand side. But that is okay because he will get a lot of support from the likes of Aitnuri. So it's actually okay for the Marmoush to not be as versatile as Cherki and Foden. And even then, most wingers are not that comfortable going into midfield. Not most comfortable scoring wingers at the very least. And he is. Cherki is. So that's just basically how Cherki helps Foden in my opinion. I could go full in depth tactical stuff, but nobody cares about that, let's be honest. We all know how good he is. If you've watched him, at the very least, we all know how good he is. By the way, hello to Wim and Rosa, big up, how are you two? Spain is winning 2-0 against France, and I ought to say, France, their defense, they cannot cope. They cannot cope with the attack of Spain, which is quite funny because their manager is Desailly, or is it Deschamps? It's Deschamps, who was a great centre back in his time, but clearly not a great defensive manager at the moment. Anyhow, What else does Cherki do? He scored scratch goals. Take the Man United game. However the fuck Lyon bottled that is still beyond me. Scored scratch goals. He creates chances in the big moments. He creates chances out of nowhere, really, for both himself and for his teammates. So he also controls the game as well, yeah, because this is what people don't seem to understand. Like, you've got these swingers who can score a goal and get output, and they can do a job that way. And you have wingers who can control the game and do a job that way. But Cherki is a winger who can do both of that at an incredibly high level and more. So that is why Cherki is just such a perfect Pep Guardiola signing. And I would have wanted Cherki, even if he got words. My thing was always Cherki and words. I wanted Cherki and words. Now words doesn't come. Old news, I know. But the reason I bring it up is because this guy is just such a quality player in a way that I don't think we have had for a while. And I've not watched him that much. I've watched like 8 games of him. I've watched 8 games of him. But in every game I've watched of him, he is pure class. So I just can't be more happy that we've signed him. And you know what's funny, yeah? I actually did not rate Cherki at first. I'm not sure who told me about Cherki for the first time. I think it might be Oliver, big up to him. And I was like, I don't know about this Cherki guy, seems a bit weird and all that stuff. Then I actually sat down and watched him, and bro, he blew me away. And this is the thing I'll say, yeah? If you ain't watched him, go watch him. Like, honestly, just go watch him, because I get it. You haven't watched him, you're like, who is this cheap player? Why is he so cheap? It ain't even a release clause. Go watch him. Just go watch him. You'll understand. He is top. And they have a gentleman's agreement, which is why his fee is so cheap. In fact, Man City is paying over the gentleman's agreement, probably just to keep good relationships with Lyon, because Lyon tends to produce top talent every once in a while, at the very least. Anyhow, the title of the stream is... What is the title? I believe it is Are We Catching Up to Liverpool? Closing the gap on Liverpool. That is the title of the stream. So, are we closing the gap with Liverpool? That's a very dramatic way to put it. And let me just pull up the Premier League table here of last season to show just how big this gap is. And I think we can think of this gap in terms of points. It's a point gap between us. Think in chess. In chess, when you have a rook up, you have 5 points up. So we can think of it much in the same way in football, and here it's literal points. So the difference between Man City and Liverpool this season was 13 points. However, Liverpool stopped playing to win games at the end of the season, while Man City did not. So that 13-point gap is more like a 16, maybe even 18, 19, 20 points gap. Let's go with 17. Let's go with 17. Nice in the middle of everything. 17-point gap. Including the fact that Liverpool stopped playing at the end of the season and stopped trying to win. Let's say a 17-point gap. Liverpool have just gone out, added Florian Wirtz. They've added Kerkez. And I think Kerkez is not really an improvement, but it's not really a degradation either. I think it's about the same level as what they had there in Robinson. So Kerkez comes in, very good for them. They've got their new left back. Wirtz massively improves Liverpool. So when we talk about closing the gap, yeah, we're not just having to bridge the gap between us now and Liverpool 10. We're talking about bridging a gap between a Liverpool that has added Florian Wirtz to their team, who is incredible. And Frimpong down their right hand side, I actually think that's a downgrade to Trent Alexander-Arnold. So it's not like they're just jumping up all the way, but I think this is a better Liverpool team. So if I was to put it in points here, I personally think that Liverpool, with their new players, is looking at 90 to 94 points in the Premier League season. Let's say 92. Let's say 92. That would be 21 points over the Man City. That will be 21 points over the Man City this season. We've gotten some quality players in, and Cherki, and Aitnouri, and Leenders. We're getting Rodri back from injury. Foden should hopefully be back to his level next season. But are we going to say that that is a point gap of 22 that we fixed? In my opinion, no. I think we get to maybe 80 points with this current team. There are still very obvious weaknesses in this team. One is the right back area, and one is actually, funny enough, not in the players we do have, or do not have, but in the players we do have. Sometimes you can have too much players, as is the case right now with Man City. Look at this fucking squad. It's diabolical. This is diabolical. You've got 2 DMs. I know Phillips will leave, but you need to actually pin him off first. You've got 6 midfielders. So some of these guys will leave. O'Reilly, is he even a midfielder or is he a left back? What is he? I'm not sure. But he's in midfield for now. You've got a left back and a right back, but a very, very poor right back, if you ask me. So it's not even just the... If you just compare starting 11 to starting 11 with Liverpool, I think we're very close. But it's like, then you look at the squad, and our squad is an absolute mess. So, in my opinion, yeah, to catch up to Liverpool now, to bridge the gap, as they say, to Liverpool, the most important thing is not necessarily to go and sign another player, although I do want Livramento. You can see him down the right here in white. I would love Livramento for this right-hand side. And let's talk about Livramento, by the way, because I need you guys to understand something, yeah? Currently, we have 21 not homegrown players. 21 players who are not homegrown. We are only allowed 17. So we need to cut back on 5 not homegrown players. When you, at least, and I would prefer to do on more so, because if you have like 17, then you can't add a new homegrown without, or not homegrown without first booting someone out. So I would prefer to actually go under that 17. I want to go for 15, 14. When you want to go buy a homegrown player, especially when everyone else knows that your team is kind of struggling for the homegrown, you need to overpay sometimes. But Livramento, yeah, let's talk about Livramento. How much do we think Livramento will cost us? Let's say 80 million pounds. 80 million pounds, right? So I brought up that price of Aitnouri earlier, 34 million pounds. Cherki is 35 million pounds. And then you have 60 million pounds on Leenders, Danny Leenders. So that is a grand total of 129 million pounds. Now you add onto that 80 million pounds for the Livramento. People have been telling me before the summer we're looking at a budget of 300 million. People were telling me 300 million pounds before the summer. You go get Livramento and you can still spend 91 million pounds. Are we overspending on Livramento if we can still go spend all that money after buying him? Now you can say a goalkeeper. Okay, let's say a goalkeeper, yeah? Dean Henderson cost us 30 million. Let's say that. Let's say you want a backup right back. Let's say Wan-Bissaka, just example. 30 million. Okay. Now let's say you want another rotational player. Let's say 30 million. For a rotational midfielder. You can go buy 3 extra players. With that budget there. You can go buy 3 extra players. And in fact, I don't believe that we need another right back. You can go buy 3 spot players after buying Livramento if the budget really is that 300 million mark, which a lot of people have been making out it could be. So I am not terribly concerned about overpaying for Livramento. It's not even overpaying. I think he's one of the best right backs in the world. Is he the outright best? No, but he is a top 10 right back for me in world football. So, but he's a defensive right back and people don't rate that. And then they look at the defensive statistics and they're like, well, it's not that great. Well, yeah, because he inverts, and when a right back inverts, their defensive statistics don't look that great. But in Pep Guardiola's system, Livramento would play in a back 3 with himself, Diaz, Guardiola. So Livramento, he solved, I think, our biggest issue right now, or the biggest remaining issue, which is the right back problem. That right back area is looking hella weak. So you go get Livramento. That's great. But do we even still bridge the gap? Because now we're onto the conversation of chemistry. Salah has been playing together with Gakpo for 3 years now. Or will have for 3 years next season. He's been playing together with Van Dijk for Everton. He's been playing together with McAllister for a while. He's been playing together with a lot of the players around him. He has chemistry. Haaland has never played before with Cherki. He has barely played with Marmoush. He's never played with Reinders. Rodri was out for a year. Foden was barely playing this season. So Erling Haaland, every player I just mentioned is that is literally every player immediately behind Haaland. He's never played with Aït-Nouri either. So we're talking about or Livramento. We are talking about only 3 players have consistently played with Haaland for the past 2-3 years that he's been here. That is Ederson, Guardiola, Diaz. In fact, Guardiola has only been here for now 2 seasons. So even then, the chemistry is not as much. There is way less chemistry. Way less chemistry between this squad than Liverpool squad. So, again, begging the question again, have we bridged the gap with Liverpool? My personal answer is no, and that's fine. Even if we go get Livramento, the answer is still no, and that is fine. Because this team, all of these players, by the way, coming to the Premier League for the first time, it's not easy to just come into the Premier League, completely change the way you've played all your career. It's not easy. But that's fine. Like, it's fine. I'm not too concerned about winning the Premier League. This team will comfortably get us top 5. Or top 4 even. Fuck top 5. Top 4. We'll get Champions League easily with this team. So go win a cup. Go win a cup. I don't think we're winning the league title. I think we need an extra summer for that. So go win something else. Go win a cup. Go win the Champions League, maybe. Because to win the Champions League, you don't need to be the best team. If you already know you're not going to win the league title, it's something you can do if you know you don't win the league title. You play just well enough to get top 4. You play all the players you need at the moment you need to win the games you should to guarantee top 4. And you put everything into Champions League. That is how Real Madrid has dominated the Champions League for a while. Go do the cups, man. Go do the cups, because I personally want the Carabao Cup back. I want to win the Carabao Cup. It's been so long since we won it. 2021, okay? That's 5 years next season. Go win it again. Like, I know it's not the biggest trophy, but go win that Carabao Cup again. I just don't think we've closed the gap to Liverpool yet, and I'm not too concerned either. No matter who you get, you can't bridge that gap. They've just added Florian Wirtz to Champions team. Now, it is worth mentioning, of course, that Alisson Becker, Salah, Van Dijk. These players are aging, they're gonna get worse. But that's gonna take another season, if you ask me. It is what it is. Arne Slot, his new tactics, they seem to work. But the proof is usually in the second seed. Because, you know what they say, beginner's luck. Look at Ange Postecoglou, how he went from his third season terrible, or third season okay, second season terrible. So the proof is usually in the second seed, not in the first. Even then, Arne Slot looks like a great manager. The Dutch managers, yeah, you want a very good, tactically sound manager. Go to Eredivisie. Eredivisie is full of tactically sound managers, yeah. And this guy was the best manager in Eredivisie. So, I'm not surprised that Liverpool have been very good this season. I personally predicted in my Premier League predictions at the start of the season, not this season, but like last season, that we finished third, that Liverpool would have a good start and drop off a bit as Slot got used to the Premier League. That is what happened. In the end, they had enough of a lead to win the title anyhow. And you know what? We will win the Premier League again. Not next season, I think, but the season after. But now that we think about it this way, would you rather compete in every competition and win none of them, or would you rather be honest and say we're not going to be good enough next season to win the Premier League, so let's coast to second place. Let's do what Real Madrid did when they knew Barcelona was better than them. Because Barcelona was better than Madrid when they did that 3-peat in the Champions League. Madrid knew that. That's why they focused on Champions League. So we need to do that. We need to understand Liverpool is better than us. Don't try to fight Liverpool in the Premier League next season, because your squad is simply not ready. Set, coast second place, because we can easily do that if you play the best teams in the weakest games and if you throw all out resources when it matters. And then just go put your eggs in the Champions League basket, into cups, and go win some of them. I think that's perfectly fine. I'm really not that concerned with Premier League. Anyhow, 4-0 to Spain. 4-1 should I say, because France has scored. And Ryan Cherki has come on for France. Maybe I need to do a Ryan Cherki watch along, guys. Maybe I need to do a Ryan Cherki watch along. So, to conclude what I've all said, we've not caught up to Liverpool yet. But what about going on from here? We've got 3 players in. Liverpool has got 3 players in. Will Liverpool buy anyone else? There's Vlahovic links, there's Isak links. Liverpool is linked to a few strikers. Are they gonna go buy a striker? Are they gonna go, I don't know, buy a midfielder or something? Are they gonna go add some strength to that team? Or will they just... Well, they say, we signed Florian Wirtz because this is what Liverpool does, yeah? Because this is what FSG does. They go get that one big player. They've got that big player in. It's all signed, it's all good. And now they don't sign anyone else. They're happy. So is that what Liverpool will do? Will they get those 3 players in here and then watch Man City buy another 2, potentially 3 players to potentially close that gap? Maybe. I still don't think that that's enough for us to close the gap, but it's just something to think about. Who else do we worry about other than Liverpool? Arsenal have finished 4th, second. They finished above us, but Arsenal is not really strengthening. They're in fact not a very good team, to be honest. I think we've already overtook Arsenal again. Will they go get a new well, they're going to get Sesko. Sesko is not really a quality striker, is he? They're going to get Subimendi. Is that really what they need right now? They've got like 50 defensive midfielders. Are they gonna get a 10 at some point? They really need a 10. So they should have gone out, bought Gyökeres, spent their change on Xavi Simons, put Declan Rice in the 6, put Declan Rice in the 6, put Ødegaard in the 8, have them as a double pivot, put Xavi Simons up top, but that's not what they did. A bit shocking, to be honest, how Arsenal have managed themselves. So, do we worry about Arsenal? Not for me. I'm not worried about Arsenal. I think we're going to finish above Arsenal. I'm actually more worried about Chelsea than Arsenal. Because Chelsea have just gone and added a 20-goal-a-season striker to their team. Liam Delap. There you go. That's what Arsenal should have done, by the way. They went to Liam Delap. Said, hey, you want to win trophies? Come to Chelsea. Put the contract in front of his face. And he fucking signed it. But he was alluded easily away from Man United when he heard that Chelsea was knocking. So Chelsea I'm more worried about. They've got a very good striker now, but I do believe their midfield is overrated. Cole Palmer is not that great in midfield, to be honest. He's a lot better on the wings, and I think he's a very quality winger, but and he can invert and stuff as a winger, but that's not the same as being an attacking midfielder. As an attacking midfielder, as a 10, I don't rate him that highly. So I think they still need a 10. I think Caicedo is not that good, neither is Enzo Fernandez. They're both above average. Their defense is shaky. They could choose a centre back and a right back. So, sorry, not a right back, a left back. So they've got a very good board, I think, but they're gonna need to make a few more signings for me to be worried about them. Potentially get a better goalkeeper as well. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3. So goalkeeper, left back, centre back, maybe a 6, maybe a 10. We're looking at 5 more signings for Chelsea before I'm too worried. And that's already on top of Liam Delap, who they've already signed. So maybe they go do that. Let's see, I suppose. Goal Spain, 5-1. Yeah. France are finished. Big up to Lou. Big up to Lou. France, bro. Yikes. Tough times. Tough time for France, isn't it? How are you gonna be out here losing 5 fucking 1 from? I wanna see who scored, by the way. Let me check my screen. Who scored these? Spain, France. It's not full time yet. Oh, Mbappe scored a penalty, guys. Mbappe scored a penalty. Wow. 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 What a quality player, Mbappe. Yeah, Nico Williams, Mikel Merino, Lamine Yamal, twice, and Pedri. Lamine Yamal stats padding to penalty as well. You know, great stuff this from France. They've got 20 minutes left to rescue something. I doubt it. I very much so doubt it. Cole Palmer is gonna play number 10 next season at Chelsea. I agree, he will play in the 10. I don't think he's the best in the 10. I think he's the best when you put him on the wing. I think that's where he's better. So they should go buy a 10, a proper 10. Put Palmer on the wing, where he's best. Let him invert. Give Palmer the keys, man. Put him on the wing, but give him free roam. You know what I'm saying? Let him do what he wants. And then get a proper 10 in there as well. Liam Delap FC to Chelsea. Yeah, Liam Delap to Chelsea. Big up to him, by the way, for being in. Liam Delap, I'm more worried. I'm not sure about you guys. I'm more worried about Chelsea than Arsenal. And then it's like also Newcastle. And like Newcastle would have worried me because like they won a cup and they looked strong and stuff, but they're not doing anything right now in the window. They're just sitting there. So yeah, Newcastle did worry me at some point throughout the season. But the way they've been silent here in transfer window, to be fair, the transfer window, the like 10-day periods, isn't open for them yet. That's only for like Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea, I believe. So maybe they just haven't bothered to make anything public yet. Newcastle will do something at some point. I can guarantee that much. They'll try to sign someone, sure. They're losing potentially Isak and Livramento, so they'll have to go sign someone. Who they'll sign is beyond me. Oh, on his shirt, well, yeah. 3 ex-Man City players at Chelsea. Palmer, Lavia and Delap. And Lavia, not that good, but Palmer and Delap, incredible players, isn't it? Big up to Mateus, by the way. I'm not sure if you're watching this, Mateus, but I'm sure you've got space. I'm sure you've got space. But how's your technical ability, Mateus? I'm not sure if you're watching this, but cheers. Anyhow, that is pretty much everything talked about. Just a shorter stream here. Can't talk about too much really. We know these deals were being done like a week ago, which kind of kills the joy, to be honest. Like, imagine if we got a Bernardo Silva style announcement. Imagine, guys. Like, it would be all the hype. But like, nowadays, with all these ITKs, all these journalists and stuff, all this stuff on Twitter, like, you know about this stuff a week before it happens. It kills the excitement, doesn't it? France, say humble, eh? Roll tough luck on France. This is diabolical, isn't it? This is diabolical on France. Where is it? True. But yeah, who do we get, by the way? Who do we get without remaining? Who do we get without remaining £90 million in budget? We've got £90 million remaining. Like, let's say Livramento here. He cost us, let's say, £10 million. Oh, sorry, 80 million pounds. Let's say £80 million. We've got £90 million remaining. Because we're assuming we've got a budget of 300 million. Who do we buy with that remaining money? Here is my take on it. Because you've got to look at who's leaving the club as well. You've got to look at who's gonna leave. And plenty of players better leave. But look at how much of a mess this is. This whole team. So we've still got 21 not homegrown players. Phillips has ought to leave, in my opinion. How do you sell him? You don't, you loan him out. So okay, Phillips leaves. You come back to 22 players here. Sure. Then we've done this before on stream, so I'll just quickly go through it. Grealish has to leave. We're gonna do the ones that have to leave. Absolutely, no argument first. So Grealish goes. Gets us down to 3 wingers, and Carson goes as well. So we're down to 21 players now because Carson will be replaced by an English goalkeeper. Say for example Forster, I'm reckoning an older goalkeeper who's more than happy to sit on the bench. Will come in and replace Carson. So then we've got this squad right now. We need to majorly reform that midfield. And in my opinion, this is how you do it. Kovacic can be sold. Gundogan looks like he's leaving. So they're absolutely 100% gone. In my opinion. Maybe not Gundogan. Maybe I shouldn't say they're 100% gone, but like, I think most likely they will leave. So you've got 2 not homegrown players here to leave, 1 homegrown player. It's 3 players in total to leave. That's 2 I deducted. So there you go. Now, again, the argument is O'Reilly a left back as your midfielder. For the sake of it, I'll include him here as a midfielder. So Nunez, I believe, has to go. Obviously, Walker has to go. Obviously. And we're not going to be able to sell him, unfortunately. Skill issue, I suppose. So we'll have to loan him out. And now we already look a lot better on that homegrown. We're down to 18, which is way better. So now Akanji Stones for me. You get Akanji Stones out. And again, all of this is important for who you bring in. Who you spent that last 90 million on. France scored again, by the way. Big up to France. Who you spent that last 90 million on. So this is down to 3. We've got 5, 6, 9, 10, 14. Got 14 here. And we should have right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 not homegrown players here. So we're now down to 17, which is much better. We've still got some problems here. First of all, we've got a 25-man squad here. Pep Guardiola wants a 24-man squad at maximum, which I don't understand, because I think just 1 extra player can add so much depth in our team. And I'll show why later. But before I do that, let's say Lewis out on loan. Lewis out on loan. You're down to 2 midfielders now, which I think is good. I think 2 central midfielders. You've got enough depth with that. But not with these 2. Because these are 2 very young midfielders. So you've got to add an extra midfielder in there. And you've got to add... Cherki, my baller. Dembele is on the pitch. Cherki scores. I go. Thank you for being in. Cherki, our baller, bruv. Our baller. This guy, bro. I tell people, yeah? He's a fucking goat. He's a fucking goat, bruv, this Cherki guy. He is going to fucking soar, bruv. He's going to soar next season. He's fucking generational. He is proper generational, that Cherki guy. I don't even need to watch the game to know he scored a fucking banger. Anyhow. So now we've got a 14-man squad. Within the range of homegrown, which is 17. But I prefer to change something up here, because first of all, I don't want our backup right back to be our centre back. Now, how do I solve that? Simple. Go buy a right back. You go buy a homegrown right back. There's plenty out there. There are plenty out there. He whose name shall not be named. You all know what I'm talking about. Plenty of right backs, homegrown right backs out there to go get quality enough to sit on a bench for Man City. So that takes us to 1 left back, 1 right back on the bench. Great depth. You've got 3 wingers on the bench. You've got 2 midfielders on the bench. Your depth is great. It's 1 player could make all the difference. But Pep Guardiola, very stubbornly, simply will not go with a squad size of 25, even though you're allowed a squad of 25. Why is beyond me. Oh, sorry. I accidentally slapped my mic. It's beyond me. But that's how it is. So, I would sacrifice having a right back for a good midfield and winger. So what I do is I sell off Bernardo Silva. I think it's very difficult. If we can sell Bernardo Silva and Doku, who I think is very sellable, you bring in Morgan Rogers. There you go. Morgan Rogers. First of all, you've got homegrown fixed it even more. Now Silva to leave. You know what I'm thinking. I think you know. I think you guys know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking bring through Mukasa, but like, he doesn't count as homegrown yet, in it, Mukasa. And Silva will be very difficult to get out too. But I would. This is my fever dream. Get out Silva. Rodgers is not really a central midfielder. I think he's more of a winger than a midfielder. But yeah, this is somewhat what I would go with. And then you bring through your Steven Mukasa or whatever. And I think that's a very good depth there. And Rodgers, like, you've got a £90 million budget to go after Morgan Rodgers. That's the one and only signing we have left. You are telling me that Morgan Rodgers, with an Aston Villa who failed to get Champions League, would cost as much as 90 million? No, he wouldn't. Let's be honest, he wouldn't. So, I think we're well on course to have a very good rebuild. Could have happened a lot sooner, let's be honest. We should not have ever been in this position. At the very least, future looks bright again, guys. Future looks bright. Especially with Cherki looking it up and down and all the ways around in the league, in the France game right now. Coming through, doing Cherki. That's gonna be a gourmet meal. You know what I'm talking about when Cherki comes over to here. That's gonna be a gourmet meal, bro. Just imagine the link up between him and Haaland. And now, you got 3 centre backs on Haaland. Barmush, Foden, Rodri, Cherki, Leenders. They're all capable of scoring. Whereas if you look back at last season, you have 3 men on Haaland. Who's gonna score? Savio? No. Doku? No. De Bruyne? Not really. Bernardo Silva? No. Gundogan? No. So, last season, no one was scoring when Haaland wasn't scoring. Now, a lot of people are scoring when Haaland isn't scoring. Even O'Reilly, who will be on our bench. And Aït-Nouri, who's coming through. You've got so many more goals in this team, bro. From different sources. And that will create a situation where Haaland gets more sources. Because if you're not dependent on him, solely dependent on him, teams can no longer man-mark Haaland to death. I've said it 1,000 times. If you want Haaland to be good, you need to make sure that teams can't man-mark him to death. It's that simple. Haaland, marked by 3 men, he's not gonna do anything. Neither is most strikers in football history. Forget right now, football history gonna do anything. So Haaland here, next season, I'll put in a wild prediction. I will put in a wild prediction. Erling Haaland next season will score 40 Premier League goals. There you go. Assuming he doesn't get injured, of course. Without any injury, Erling Haaland will score 40 Premier League goals next season. There you go. That is my prediction. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm not done yet for tonight, but I am going to go on to another live stream with Zeer. So big up to Zeer as well. I've got a redirect set up, so I'm not done yet, but we're redirecting from this stream towards Zeer's stream, so just stick in here. It will automatically redirect you when this stream ends, and I'll see you guys over there. We're going to be talking a bit about European football there, so there's going to be Bayern München fans, Man City fan, of course, myself, and fans of all other types of European clubs. So it's always fun. It's always fun doing these panel shows with fans from other clubs. So that's where we're going right now. I will be on in 14 minutes. 14 minutes we go live. So Alfred in chat, guys. Alfred in chat. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys there. Oh, before I leave, why couldn't we convince Words to come? He's the best player on the market. We'll only be fighting second place if Liverpool gets him. Okay. So, currently, Man City have spent £129 million on Brian Knight-Nuri, on Tijani Reinders, and on what's his name? Ryan Cherki. £129 million. Florian Wirtz is £150 million. I wanted Florian Wirtz, but if we go get Florian Wirtz, which I really want, that is rebuild from. Have Cherki, you have Wirtz, you have Whitesbury, and Reinders. Rebuild complete. There's no budget for a goalkeeper if you want a new goalkeeper. There's no budget for a right back. If you're fine with that, great. I personally would have wanted Wirtz, but Wirtz would have not won us a league title. We are not winning the league title next season anyhow. The gap between Man City and Liverpool is so monstrous, we are not winning the league title with or without Wirtz. That is a problem of how this board has managed this club, and how Pep Guardiola has refused to rebuild earlier, and of a collective failure on Man City to properly advance. That is a collective failure. They're not winning the Premier League next season. Listen, we are probably not winning the Premier League next season. And if we're being smart as a club, we don't bother trying. If we're as a club being smart, we do what Real Madrid used to do. Because Real Madrid knew they weren't gonna win La Liga, because Barcelona was so much better. So they went in, threw all their eggs into the Champions League. They comfortably coasted to top 4, to second place, because they're just that good. And so will we. But put your eggs in the Champions League basket. We win the Champions League if we put our eggs in that basket. As well as Liverpool just have way more chemistry between their players. We're winning off almost all our players who have chemistry with each other, so chemistry does matter. Next season, yeah, when Salah leaves Liverpool, when Van Dijk gets older and less capable, Alisson Becker, when this score degrades and leaves, only thing they'll have is Wirtz. While we will have Haaland, Cherki, Bob, Foden, Reinders, Rodri, we'll have possibly Livramento if we sign him, Aït-Nouri. We have built a core for the future. Liverpool need to go buy a core for the future. So, will they? Remains to be seen. I'm not too worried about winning the league title next season. I'm more worried about the Champions League. I think we've got better chances. Go win a cup, go win Champions League. So yeah, that's my take on that. Feel free to disagree, of course, but that's just my personal opinion. Yeah, fair point. Thank you for subscribing, by the way, PM. And that's this time properly all for me for now. We're going to the to Zeer's channel. He's very close to 900. So we're redirecting there. Just stick in here. Alfred in chat. I'll see you guys over there in 10 minutes. Subscribe to Zeer. He's so close to 900. To get him over the 900. I'll see you guys there.